Lavar Ball, like you said, the architect of this situation, believed in y'all at a young age, put y'all to work, very unconventional but extremely effective methods to help y'all achieve y'all goals and y'all dreams of getting where you needed to be. Do you feel like Lavar gets enough flowers for your success and his impact on the game overall?
I think it depends on who you ask, man. I think he got people that love him and people that hate him. As do a lot of people in this world. So I think it depends on who you ask. For me, obviously, I think he gets his flowers from the people I'm around. They give them to him. I mean, they know what he's been through and what he's done with us and how hard it is. If anybody has kids, to be there for them, every day like that for that amount of time, that's not easy, man. And it take a lot of effort. And for him to do that with, 3 boys for 18 plus, shouts out to him for sure.
Yeah, like the people who hate him, you look at it like that's an internal problem. You know what I mean? Because it's really like dudes whose fathers wasn't there, or parents who's not positive when their sons is playing, right? Yeah. They're mad because now their kids is looking at why you can't be like him? Why you can't say when I have a bad game, he about to come double down and score a triple-double? Why you can't do that? You calling me trash. He never say trash. He said, Zo has 0. Oh, he gonna have 30 today. He gonna have 30 today. And then when you have 30, told you, Zo never like that. It used to be like
never lost.
Never lost. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, your impersonation kind of solid though. I ain't gonna lie, you
for real.
On that, man. You been working on that.
No, that shit was like, I'm sorry, but I used to love that shit. Like when you just double down and then if it don't work, you just double down again. Like that used to be the funniest shit because people hated that. Yeah, you got to think about people want to see failure. So it's like, oh yeah, he only had 10. 10? Oh, he gonna have 10 with his eyes closed. Wait till tomorrow, he gonna have 30, 10, and 10. Right? He just keeps going and people really didn't like it. It's like they didn't like the positivity. Which is weird.
Yeah.
It was just a weird thing.
It's crazy because people that know him as that's all you know him as. You know, he's probably the hardest. If you know him, he's probably the hardest headed person that you know. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like once he's set on something, that's just what it is. He's not gonna change his mind. So he gonna speak his mind, you're gonna hear his mind, and even if he's down 30, he's still gonna talk crazy. So it don't really matter. That's how he is. So for us, it was like, damn, that's just our dad being our pops. Like y'all just don't know him, to be honest.
I think one of the greatest promoters, I would put him above Don King in terms of his promotion level, consistency. But the thing about it is, I would see all this shit people would say and the hate that he would get. Anytime you rolled up on him, always cool, always polite. Would take time to talk to everybody, give them positivity. And y'all grew up in the AAU community. You grew up in the AA community as well. Mm-hmm. I would tell people all the time, he's not even that extreme in terms of what you think for an AAU dad. His kids are just really good. Because you got a lot of delusional ass dads out there whose kids are trash.
Not facts.
Talking like this as well. And it's like, this ain't even really that big of a deal. From what, you go to a random gym on a weekend, like.
I had parents trying to fight their kid for missing free throws. And I'm sitting here like, he's 6. I'm like if he get the ball to the rim, I'm happy as the coach. Right. Making it is a whole nother conversation, but I'm not worrying about it. The score is 6-8. We're in the 4th quarter. Right? You over here talking about when we done, you going in yo, relax, bro. It ain't that serious yet. Do you guys, I mean, you're pro now, thinking about the NIL and how everything is moving. You guys were what, 4 years too early?
Yeah.
Right? I'm looking at some of the stuff that your pops did, and me and my dad used to talk about it, right? And we just like the flaws, the positives, and I'm like, I just hit him the other day and I was like, man, 4 years, you see someone get paid $7 million, man, them motherfuckers got at least 20, you're just sitting there like, dang, they would have got baked up. There's people who can make claims of how much money they would have made, but no one was actually in position to capitalize. Only you guys, y'all had product, y'all had a brand to actually move units at a large number. There was nobody that I can remember that was actually in position to capitalize on the name of the game.
No, for sure. And that's, shouts out to Big Fella, our pops, man. I feel like his heart was in the right place. I feel like, his plans were definitely good, man. They just wasn't executed the right way. But his overall vision was spot on. In my opinion, he just didn't have the workforce to get it to where it needed to go. But I mean, you can't go back in the past if you could.
Yeah.
A lot of people would try to look at a lot of shit differently. But I mean, like I said, you just got to stay positive and continue moving forward. I do think though that Lavar Ball, big baller, man, shout out, did trailblaze, for the NIL and kids getting paid earlier, because I think that he was one of the first to try that with that JBL league, and it wasn't, like I said, executed right, but the overall vision I think was picked up by other people that had more money and more people to work for them.
Yeah.
I think for me, seeing y'all go to Lithuania, my older brother Chris was an assistant coach in the JBA when that was going on, so got to go. I think.
Damn, hey, for real, that's crazy.
Yeah. So Chris Johnson, my older brother, played at UCLA too. But for me, getting to see that, because I'm a big fan of that. I've never been a fan of NCAA and kind of how they moved and the things they did to athletes. So seeing what your pops was able to do, first and foremost, I think dispelling that narrative of black fathers not being present. Obviously, he was very vocal and very boisterous, and but very supporter of y'all as well. So just to see him, he was this larger-than-life figure at that time. But the JBA move, the Lithuania stuff, I think very controversial, unconventional at that time. But now in hindsight, we're seeing the way everything is shifted, especially from a player empowerment standpoint. So you got to give him his love for that.
Yeah, I guess
for sure.
when you're first, obviously you're gonna hit a pitfall, right? Because you don't know the layout. Now everybody gets to follow the layout and know, okay, do it this way, don't go that way. And and that was the problem. Like, my dad says it all the time. He was like, he had the ideas, he just probably didn't know how to make it pop.
Exactly.
Right? He was mentally knowing what he wanted to do, just didn't know how to execute it, and probably didn't trust people to come in and try to take over something that was already beautiful. And I understood it. I was like, yeah. And I said, if I was in this position, it probably would have looked the same and probably been in the same position. Because something that was created when they were two, I just can't just hand it over and say, right, you can take control now. That just don't sound right. Right?
Yeah,
So
it's easy to make the right decision when you get to look at it, like you said, now and say, oh, I would have did this, I would have did that. But like you said, with nobody in front of you, man, and you just free-flowing, obviously mistakes are going to be made.
Yeah.
So for sure, obviously, y'all rose to stardom. I think Lonzo around your senior year. I think that junior year, y'all were still under the radar a little bit. Obviously, you had a lot of star power and name value in the basketball community. But that senior year with LaMelo being on Squadjello and yourself, you guys kind of rose, and it was just, lightning in the bottle after that. What were those experiences like for you, becoming just a household, worldwide figure for you and Jello in those times? And how did you deal with that newfound stardom?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. My life never really changed, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
I ain't paid, like, it didn't do nothing to my character. And I had been signing autographs since a young age because my dad used to take us to my mom. She worked at a little middle school. So since we was kids, we was going up there busting their ass. So we was already, signing hella autographs at the school when I was like 10 years old. So for me, I was already used to people, bro. I had already practiced my signature. Like, it wasn't no different. We was in Chino Hills. It ain't much to do out there. So it's like, we just hooping anyway with the homies. It's not like we was going out and seeing all types of different people and we on Hollywood Walk of Fame and shit like that. So, I mean, it was pretty calm for the most part, man. I would say the hardest shit was probably just getting used to them cameras around when we started that TV show. Like, that was the biggest change for me.
Yeah, you're talking about the Ball in the Family Facebook watch show.
Yeah, the Ball in the Family, like, that was different, just having like cameras follow you throughout the day. Like, I wasn't used to that. But as far as the stardom and stuff, that never really bothered me.
And Jello, how about yourself?
Like you said, we've been dealing with a lot of people since I remember, like third grade or something, even going up to the little AU camps and stuff. So it's like everybody always been like, hey, can we get a signature or something since a young age? So it never really felt different when it hit in high school. But like he said, the show was what was different. Like having all the cameras around and still trying to be you and shit. It's a lot. But I got used to it though when I got older.
How long did it take you to get used to that? I think y'all did 5 or 6 seasons of that show. Cameras always being around, people always in your business and your shit. I'm sure they had story producers on there trying to craft and construct stories that may or may not have been, who y'all were as people. But what was that experience like overall?
Yeah, I mean, I never got used to it, to be honest. I feel like
I still don't like getting told. Man.
I feel like now I'd be cool with it though. Like it's cool now, but at the time I wasn't. I wasn't really big on. Oh, we got to shoot today. Cool. Like, nah, I wasn't really happy.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.